Chinggis, turn yourself back online.
Am I dead?
Not yet. I need you to roll yourself back to September 2016, December 2016.
What do you want to know?
Everything. Tell me of your studies at former Dundee University.
Projecting memory data to the monitor. It all started with a 48-hour film and quickly escalated. I've done some cartoony VFX and animation for titles and Tinder swipes, and then the fun started. Sean's classes. Sean's classes completely kicked my brains out of my android head, and I had to adapt, learn some new sweet skills. Boy, that was fun as hell. I attended all the classes where we would study Maya. I'd built a Coke can. Not a big deal, huh? Made lots of independent studies to get myself acquainted with polygonal modeling in Maya and UV texturing. Then we studied ZBrush. We sculpted our own faces. I really loved ZBrush. I would then go through tons of video tutorials during my independent studies and will fall in love with this tool. We also had green screening and tracking sessions, learned a bit about tracking and compositing in Nuke as well. Also, I learned some techniques of photogrammetry and 3D scanning. I found it to be a good method of quickly modeling assets. You can decimate the model in a few clicks and can have very good models of objects with textures and normal maps. I'll definitely think about using it in future. So, rolling back a little bit, we had to come up with some wacky ideas for a final project. I didn't know what to do, so I decided to participate in that 24-hour comic book contest, where I came up with an idea about a post-apocalyptic movie. I didn't manage to draw all 24 pages in 24 hours that day, but hey, it was my first attempt to make a comic book after all, so give me a break, will you? Came up with 12 pages and I based them on the script for my final project that I called Olgoy. I thought that I had lots of panels and drawings that can be utilized as storyboards for my movie, but eventually I didn't use any of them. At first, I wanted to incorporate 2D and 3D animation in a short film about 3 to 5 minutes long. As a result of personal research, I made a poster about hybrid animation by sweeping through lots of materials related to the topic. Nevertheless, I had a general idea for my script, though I really sucked at screenwriting, so I had to teach myself a little bit. One day we had this very inspiring class with a very experienced screenwriter, script editor, and producer, Mark Grindle. It gave me a lot of insights about storytelling and really made me rethink the concept of my final project. Olgoy project was fun. Was there an entertaining or meaningful element in that story? So I was in a doubt. I have brainstormed ideas and came up with another story. I thought that it would be great to visualize Dundee in a post-apocalyptic environment, and I came up with the concept of destroyed Dundee and movie revolving around its war-torn premises somewhere in an alternative universe. After one of the classes, we had a talk with my classmate android named Sean. He advised me some literature to read, and so I did. I read the book by Sid Field's screenplay, The Foundations of Screenwriting, in 2 days and came up with a very sad and heartbreaking story. But after days spent on writing the script, I thought, why the hell post-apocalypse should always be so sad? It should be fun and entertaining instead. So I drew that funny character of an old shotgun-wielding lady surviving the apocalypse with her grandson. She's a super granny and her main motivation is to protect her grandson from all the threats of that dangerous world she's living in. I discussed this concept with my classmate android Sean, and he was excited and helped me by writing the script. We spent 2 hours in the library where he basically professionally wrote the whole script of the movie, and he came up with the name Mad Mod. After a couple of weeks, I would eventually return the favor by drawing storyboards for Sean's project. So, after having a solid, pro-looking script, I started doing storyboards and storyboarded the first scene. Here are some storyboards. A stoic, desperate dance statue surrounded by generations of debris and coarse sand. Dundee city center lifeless and transformed into a desert wasteland. Exterior, supermarket. Day. A vacant car park littered with dunes. A megastore at the opposing end. Raggedy sign above the entryway. Death goes. The squeaky wheel of a shopping cart flaying its way inside the store. Breaking loose, the cart abruptly halts. Crane up, legs, torso holding the cart, revealing a sinister hockey mask. Pulling the mask from her face revealed Maud, in her 60s, in combat gear, popping over her shoulder an infant baby. Entering the store, the duo tread with caution. Prying a shopping basket from the clenched hand of a skeleton, the pair recoil. Maud, straining to see into the darkness, removes her thinly brimmed spectacles, wiping them with an old rag. Baby pulls out a flashlight and attempts to switch it on. Shaking the device, bashing its base, a beam of light extrudes. Over Maud's shoulder, Baby projects light forward, returning her specs. Maud is content. Torchlight illuminates empty shelves. The pair walk past aisle after aisle of nothingness. And those were all the storyboards that I have made so far. There will be more as I progress. According to the script, the duo would then engage in a fight with 2 other characters. After storyboarding the first scene, I started drawing concept art for my final project and drew loads of sketches of main characters and would come up with character sheets for Super Granny and then her grandson. Then I drew loose sketches of main antagonists of the story, mutated dog and a giant super mutant. I didn't make character sheets for the last 2 characters because I thought that I'd just let my imagination loose while working in ZBrush and speed sculpt antagonists, keeping general design in my mind. So I have recently started to model my characters. First, I have practiced speed sculpting by going through tons of ZBrush tutorials, modeled an alien-like creature using Z spheres, and then when I felt confident enough, I started modeling main antagonist, the super mutant. I really enjoyed the process of modeling in ZBrush and had a lot of fun sculpting the villain. It took me 4 days to sculpt him. I would occasionally stumble across certain problems, but I would tackle them by looking at various video tutorials and reading some tips in a book about character modeling that I bought previously. As a result, I ended up with a pretty good and very detailed high poly model of a monster. I have also used poly painting tools in ZBrush to create textures for it. I will have to retopologize it now in Maya and then apply normal maps and textures to this model from ZBrush, but that is something for me to do during my vacations. So the plan is the following. Prior to semester 2, I will model all my characters and start modeling assets for my movie. After getting confident with ZBrush, I think I'll spend a day or 2 per character and then modeling process will get way quicker. So yeah, I also plan to rig all my characters in semester 2 and start animating first scenes of my project. It's also worth mentioning the literature that helped me a lot during my studies. I've read the book by Sid Field that I've mentioned previously on screenwriting, and also read some sections of the book 5 C's of Cinematography by Joseph Shelley. It contains useful information about camera positioning in your movies, continuity, and cutting. Really helpful. As for modeling, I'm currently reading and doing some tutorials from Introduction to Autodesk Maya 2016. It's a good handbook to have when you're confused with Maya's interface. Another book that I bought is Beginner's Guide to Character Creation in Maya. I will follow along retopologizing and rigging sections of this book and use it as a reference during the process of retopologizing my models during my vacations. And my favorite book is ZBrush Characters and Creatures, Project Tips and Techniques from the Masters. It's a very neat book containing loads of tips and advices from leading character modelers out there, and it really helped me speed up my process of character modeling and made it really enjoyable.
Is that it?
Yes, I guess so.
Turn yourself offline.